Coming up in the news tonight, Bahamians taking advantage of a new business opportunity during this pandemic. Post-Dorian distributions continuing throughout the island. And a local environmentalist shares his thoughts on the way forward post-COVID-19. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Megan Shepard. Thank you so much for tuning in. As the country battles the COVID-19 pandemic, the Royal Bahamas Police Force continues its fight against crime. Just 2 nights ago, a young man was shot and killed on Grand Bahama, and another is in hospital in critical condition following a separate shooting incident. Tonight, a local pastor is appealing to young men in particular to stop the violence and increase the peace. Jay Philippe has our top story.
Gun violence among young men is a growing concern throughout communities in Grand Bahama. One community leader in Grand Bahama, Pastor Kyle Maycock, says that it is unfortunate that the country is losing young men. He says too many young men are being lost to senseless crimes.
We can't afford to lose our young men to death. We can't afford to lose our young men to incarceration. There's so much potential wrapped up in men. And for us to be killing each other and for us to be taking lives is just a sign that we've lost our way as a people. And my encouragement to those who are involved, first of all, to those who've lost loved ones, either through violence or incarceration, is that, I feel for you. We all are touched when these things happen. And the grief is something that's very real. And for far too long, it has been a cycle and a culture and a language for us when it comes to our young men.
Maycock says gun violence is unnecessary. Far too often, a gun not only takes the life of one young person, but also contributes to ruining the life of another young person who pulls the trigger.
I can understand and appreciate that not everybody was given a fair chance or equal opportunity or came from supportive households or had positive role models in their life, or people who've been wounded by those who should have been loving us, and we carry around a lot of anger and violence, and that's the only language that we know. And so I know that there are those of us as young men who walk around with that mentality, walk around with that in us. But the reality is we are killing people who feel the same way, who've been through the same experiences, who also have to look for community among the criminal element, and they find influencers who encourage them because they're good at bad things, and the only encouragement they get is from people who will tell them that you're good at doing negative things.
Pastor Maycock notes that young men who are a part of gangs must begin to change their way of thinking.
Why not change the direction of your life? Why not, instead of wanting to be revered and feared because of the gun and because of the gang that you're associated with, and to be respected because you're violent, why not earn the respect of the community by just fighting against your own demons? Why not channel your energy, your ingenuity, your creativity, your mental strength to just bring you out of a place where you are just one who would take lives and channel that into building up lives?
He had this message for young men.
My encouragement to the young men, whatever challenges you have, whatever issues you have, there's a way out. That you could always choose life and freedom above death and bondage. And make no mistake about it. The violent lifestyle, the criminal life, is a choice of death and bondage. That's the language of that culture.
Maycock is also encouraging citizens and community leaders to provide hope and opportunity for young men. I'm Jay Philippe, ZNS Network News.
The production of face masks has now become an essential business during this time, as the Prime Minister has made it mandatory that every Bahamian wear a face mask when out in the public. The nation's leader also placed a ban on the importation of non-medical grade masks. Tonight, Romiko Knowles tells us that many Bahamians are taking advantage of this opportunity.
As a result of the strict measures in place, some businesses were forced to close, others were created. Two businesswomen are putting their hands to work to manufacture face masks. Senator the Honorable Kwesi Thompson applauds both women on their efforts.
The Office of the Prime Minister in Grand Bahama is going to be providing masks for our civil servants who are at work and who have to interact in public and who have to interact with the in public and need to wear a mask. And so we have decided to use two of our local Grand Bahama mask manufacturers, and we also want to take the opportunity to highlight all of our local mask manufacturers.
Demetria Russell is a recipient of the government small business grant and also the owner of Destiny's Bonafide Accessories. She says it's a good feeling to create something by hand that is so essential during this time.
I was home the other night and I just was looking at it and I'm like, you know, God, you put me in this for such a time as this. Because I've just started craft about 5 years ago. And the way I moved in craft, it only could have been God, because I was never a craft person. I create anything and everything from my hand, straw work, fascinators, I do designing, I print t-shirts, I do whatever it takes that's legal to make that dollar.
Sharing those exact sentiments, longtime business owner Mary Lewis has also recently gotten into the craft business. She says it's fulfilling.
My business is Mary's Beauty Center in the West Mall. I've been in business now for over 25 years, but just started crafting about 3 years ago. It was fun doing it because I like where I'm using my hands. I make fascinators. I design or redesign fascinators. Same thing, redesign hats. My ultimate goal is to actually make hats from scratch.
Both women thanking the Office of the Prime Minister for supporting their business. The Minister of State says they will be supporting a number of local mask manufacturers.
I want to highlight the work that our civil servants have been doing who are still in the front line. And so we have our police officers, we have our immigration officers, our customs officers, those who have to work at national insurance, those who have to work in social services, those who, even though there's a lockdown, those who continue to serve the public in an essential capacity. And so we want to provide these masks to our civil servants who are in the front line.
Now, if you would like to contact these women, you can contact Demetria Russell at 441-7291 or Facebook Destiny's Bonafide Accessories. For Mary Lewis, you can contact her on 478-7703 or Facebook Mary Lewis. Romiko Knowles, ZNS Network News.
The Grand Bahama Power Company issuing a press release which notes that GBPC crews continue to work safely to return service to areas severely impacted by Hurricane Dorian during the COVID-19 pandemic. Crews are working to rebuild the transmission and distribution system in East Grand Bahama. On May 1st, GBPC will begin the connection of temporary accounts in East Grand Bahama from Freetown to High Rock for customers with approved Ministry of Works permits and approved GBPC temporary requests. Residential or business customers applying for temporary power in East Grand Bahama can email the following documents to customerservice@gbpower.com. For existing customers, 2 forms of valid photo identification and a building permit issued by the Ministry of Works. For new customers, 2 forms of valid photo identification, a building permit issued by the Ministry of Works, a valid business license, proof of ownership, or a letter from a landlord giving permission to connect electric services in the customer's name for those persons renting the residence. Distributions continuing on the island post-Hurricane Dorian. The Grand Bahama Disaster Relief Foundation making good on a promise to supply residents of Hawksbill with relief items. Ramiko Knowles has more.
The Grand Bahama Disaster Relief Foundation partnering with pastor of Living Water Assemblies, Eddie Victor, for the distribution of relief items to hurricane-ravaged areas. Now the distribution launched back in September, but is still ongoing.
We would have already gone into the homes of the residents here. And when we go into the homes, we go to see what their needs are, not just the beds, but we also just see about if there's any needs they may have for some materials or other items. And it's an assessment. And so as a part of our assessment, we are delivering beds to several homes in the Hawksbill community.
Resident of Hawksbill, Lorraine Penniman, has been sleeping on an air bed since Hurricane Dorian, but tonight she's sleeping on a brand new mattress.
I can't tell you, to God be the glory, how happy I am. The joy overfilled my soul. Pastor, it's just like you say, God made you a promise and he never failed. That's what you did. Oh, I am grateful for my beds I received today. I am grateful for my rice because, to be truthful, I didn't have no rice to cook today.
The Platinum Nights Junkanoo Group assisted Pastor Victor as he went throughout the community delivering beds.
We have been distributing from sizes, full-size bed, queen-size bed, king-size bed, all brand new, and our top-of-the-line mattresses.
Pastor Victor notes that the foundation is committed to helping the community throughout this pandemic.
We are presently, with the curfew and the emergency order, we are operating in a limited way because we have to make sure keep our volunteers safe as we distribute. And even today, we have notified the police force that we are going into this area. We are cleared for distribution during these period of the curfew. But what we do is, like, when we go out publicly like this, we inform the police we're going to be in this area. Now,
the Disaster Relief Foundation was established by the Grand Bahama Port Authority, and Victor says they are committed to helping Grand Bahama. Ramiko Knowles, ZNS Network News.
In other news, police still need your help in locating a suspect wanted for questioning on the charge of murder. The suspect is 25-year-old Kevin Clinton Smith, aka Blue, a resident of Bimini Place, Hawksbill. Smith is 5 feet 6 inches tall, weighs 110 pounds, with dark brown complexion, slim build, and dark brown eyes. Police say he is considered armed and dangerous. Now, if you can help police locate Kevin Clinton Smith, aka Blue, you should call 911-352-1919 or 350-3106-9. And coming up, another Grand Bahama resident is tapping into the mask production business. Stay with us, that story straight ahead.